Welcome back, everyone, to the 4th episode of Tournament Arc, an Oregon State University anime show. I'm your host, Maddie, here to bring us back into the world of anime with possibly my favorite show of all time, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. And it's important that I distinguish Brotherhood from its predecessor, but we'll get to that in a bit. I'm very excited for the show tonight. It is our end-of-term episode, so we've stepped up our game a little bit. We've got a few guests here, so let's get you guys to introduce yourselves.
Hello, my name's Jack. I'm currently a sophomore, and I don't quite know what I'm going to major in yet. And this is probably one of my favorite shows, and also my favorite character from it is King Bradley.
Hi, I'm Arnav. I'm a junior studying computer science here at the Oregon State University. I'd say Fullmetal Alchemist is one of my favorite shows, but my favorite show is Steins Gate, and I'd say my favorite character in Fullmetal Alchemist would have to be Alphonse Elric.
I'm Geneva. I'm a senior in business, and this is actually one of the first animes I ever watched with my family. My favorite character is a tie between Winry and Nina, and my favorite anime show is Your Lie in April.
All right, so would you guys say that like character is an important thing for you in anime?
For sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't get into an anime if you didn't like the characters.
Oh no. Yeah.
No, it takes a lot to be able to get into anime sometimes, like specific ones. Like, don't get me wrong, I love anime, but I have to like at least one character in the beginning to be able to continue through with it.
No, I feel that so hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist is like one of my favorite shows too. Like that's why I said it in the intro.
Yeah.
It is also like the first show that I watched that I actually realized was an anime and not like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon when I was a kid. Yeah, so like my favorite character, it's hard to choose, but I really like Roy Mustang.
Oh,
He is pretty great.
Roy Mustang is a great character. I love him so much.
I love the crying scene where it says it's like raining outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, it's raining. He's like, no, it's not. Yes, it is.
And then you see the tear come down his
Just a little
face.
single tear. He's wearing a hat.
And his character is pretty good. I like how it showed at the beginning. He was kind of like, I don't know, whiny, not very like tough, and eventually he got really like serious and started to actually lean on his people and use them. So that was really cool to see that character development.
Yeah, for sure.
His whole character arc, just from going to sort of like incompetent colonel who got there based on like merit itself, like references from other people that he knew, to like this hardcore actual leader who wants to make the world a better place, who is in control of his army, is just, it blows me away every time I watch it, and I have watched it many times.
I feel like he got the chance to prove himself a little bit more, and then characters from the past, like I think it's Colonel Armstrong, the female.
Yes,
Armstrong called him out on it and was like, "Are you sure you didn't just get this because of your references or something like that?"
Yeah.
All right, so your characters are tied between Nina and Winry. What makes you like them so much?
Nina is just such an innocent and adorable character, and I am heartbroken by what happened to her.
That's dark. That's real dark.
It is.
Like, it haunts me to this day.
Yeah, no, there are so many, like, memes and stuff I've seen about it, and I'm just, like, my brother likes to send me them all the time.
Like, why don't we see more dog girls in anime and not cat girls? It's like, I remember one, and it didn't go over well.
Pretty much. And Winry, it's largely because the way she interacts with the Elric brothers. Like, she does not care. Like, they can pretty much like they're her brothers, actually, but even though there's the tension between her and Edward.
So she sort of like fills in the mother figure almost. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, because she like sort of, when their mother is gone, she like looks after them, especially in the darkest times. So she like knows how they are. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Winry's such a wholesome character.
Pretty much.
And Jack, you said your favorite character was King Bradley?
Yeah.
He's also a very good character. They're all just very good characters.
Yeah. He's pretty epic.
Do you have like any like reasons to liking him, or just because he's cool?
I don't know, I just think he's awesome because at the beginning you think he's really like super nice and he slowly starts to reveal himself, and then when he gets in fight scenes, some of the, I don't know, of all the animes I've watched, his fight scenes are really great compared to most.
Crisp.
Yeah.
They're so crisp. That's such a good word to describe them.
Like, yeah, he's like...
I just fell in love with the character.
Him against Greed was a great one.
Oh, yeah.
Him against Scar was a great fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like how he like goes and shops at tanks, like shot, and then he just goes in there and just destroys a tank. He's just...
And he just like never disappears. Like you think he dies like 5 different times.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just back. Surprise.
He's just back every time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's also his dub was pretty good too, I have to admit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dub is really good.
A lot of the times the dubs aren't, but like...
Oh yeah, that's the one actually that contradicts that, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so your favorite character is... Alphonse.
Yep. I like Alphonse because he's like the little brother. He like is really innocent, but he still doubts himself, and he shows that he isn't perfect. But like in the end, he comes through, and like he's like gone through the worst. He's like lost his entire body and been transcribed to a suit of armor. He can't even eat because like he has nothing to eat.
He can't sleep.
Yeah, like he's got the worst
lot
out of everyone, and he still looks like he's always super happy. He always helps out. He's like the nicer of the 2 brothers, I feel like.
He has more common sense, it seems.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Alphonse is a great character, and
Yeah. There's just that whole part where at one point he doesn't believe that he ever actually existed, and he's just the figment.
I mean, that just adds to it.
That just adds to it.
I mean, wouldn't you doubt yourself if you were just suddenly an empty suit of armor?
Like you didn't have really any memories from when you were a kid. You just sort of became this metal figure.
That's got to be really traumatic.
Absolutely, especially after...
You think of people who just like lose an arm and they have like shadow feelings or things like that. Imagine losing your entire body. Yeah.
He also keeps Edward in check with Winry. They're probably the ones that hold him together because he's such an explosive attitude, and he really needs them to hang on in order to actually get through and do his part.
Yeah.
I love that they just like keep him grounded so much.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially...
I feel like it's vital considering everything that they've gone through and all the trauma that they're like, just everything, all of it.
One of my favorite things about their sort of relationship, Ed, Al, and Winry, is that it's not all just like one way, it goes both ways, if that makes sense. Like Winry is sort of the mother to these 2 boys, but the boys also have to look out for Winry because there's that one scene where she's trying to shoot someone, and Edward is the one to bring her down from that.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you don't want to do this, Winry. This isn't you. Put the gun down.
Yeah.
And that's such an emotional part, and it really is a testament to that kind of character, the relationship that those 3 have together.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have like a favorite arc from the show, if you remember it at all?
I really like the machine city, like where they go like
Rush Valley.
Yes, Rush Valley is really cool.
Rush Valley is so cool.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and then like I always thought like getting mechanical parts would always be like really cool if you didn't. I mean, obviously you don't want to lose a hand
honestly,
or something.
Yeah.
But like
in a world where if I didn't have an arm, having a metal arm would be pretty cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't say for sure that there's a particular arc that I, was drawn to more than the rest, honestly. But the whole show is it's just a good show.
It's a masterpiece, honestly. Let's not speak lightly about Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Oh my gosh.
How about you, Jack?
I don't know. There's so many to think of.
Yeah.
I mean, I really liked the introduction and scene of the snow, and then meeting Armstrong.
Yeah.
And then, meeting General Armstrong is another great.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool how precise she commanded her army, and then also the environment was very harsh, and I really loved that aspect of it.
I think it was really cool how everyone respected Armstrong, and not just because she was their commander, but also because she was in the front lines and she was really strong herself, and
she was like an actual good leader.
Yeah. And not just because she was brutal.
Yeah. This whole show is just honestly, again, one of my favorite things ever, not only because of the plot, which is complex and fantastic, but also because of the characters. Yeah. All right, so I think it's time that we take a quick break, but we will be back with a with a tournament art game.
you love to do should be the path to figuring out what you will do.
Simply put, this is a show made by college students for college students.
Okay. I got a stick figure. Cowboy. Cowboy's right. Cowboy's correct.
Maybe go to prosecute you instead. It'll be a comeback kid. Oh, that's 2! Yeet!
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Thank you for being so patient. We are back from our break and ready to hop into things. Last time we tested the skills of our friends in a drawing contest, and since I was clearly the winner, I think it would be best to challenge the designer of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Hiroko Kano himself. Here's an image of the official cover art for the Blu-ray. We are going to draw it, but better. Or at least we're going to try to. We will each get 1.5 minutes to work on the drawing before handing it over to the next person who will add to it. And then once we get around the table, we will show off our final product and see how good we ended up doing. All right, so let's go. And I think we decided we are going to have Jack here start us out.
Oh boy.
You have your choice of pens.
Only this time we've got more colors, though.
Nope, no, it's 3 colors. Colors.
But last time we just had black and blue.
Did we just have black and blue?
We just had black and blue.
We have more colors.
Yeah.
So, whenever you're ready, you are good to go. All right.
It's gonna be sad.
So, I really love this promotional image.
Really?
It is, like, it's so good.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm overanalyzing things, but, like, the ruins in the background that could be so many things in these brothers' lives is just beautiful.
I mean, having Alphonse and Elric, obviously the 2 main characters of the show, is always a good thing to have in a promotional image. But, like, their poses are also really interesting. Like, Alphonse seems to be, like, staring off into the distance a little bit. And then Elric just seems to be, like, just holding his hand like this. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to mean, but, like, he seems really determined to do something.
He's just showing off his metal hand.
Well, then there's, like, the light in the background, too, which kind of just creates, like, this wonderful ambiance.
Yeah, and like I really like how like Arnav was saying that Al is sort of looking up into the distance. I also think that it could be that he's like looking at Edward and like sort of looking to him for leadership. All right, and you have 30 seconds left that you've just told me. I really love what's on the page so far.
It's pretty bad.
And once you're done, you're gonna just show it to your camera, okay?
Oh boy.
Are we including the words in there too?
I think we're good. I don't think we need to include the words.
Well, I was going to be set if I had a minute and you were just going to do the words. No, you don't get off that easy. Question is, which of us is going to draw Al?
Oh.
I mean...
He is your favorite character.
I know, I can draw him.
Are we going in a circle again?
I think I should have won.
So. All right, you are out of time, sir.
All right. It's pretty bad, but...
All right,
Great.
I think I will go next, and then we'll head to Arnav, and then Geneva, you will get to finish us
Good
off
luck.
with whatever is left.
So, what did you draw? You drew...
He drew Ed.
Yeah.
Pretty terrible.
See if we can see that on the camera real fast.
Yeah.
Just a head, but we have plenty other time.
Yep.
All right.
So...
I'm going to do the hand bit.
If you had to choose a new favorite character, who would it be? I mean, I like Reed a lot. I like Brigadier General Armstrong a lot.
I like Envy.
Envy? Yeah, Envy's a cool character, yeah.
Well, we mentioned it during the break.
Yeah.
Ling is a really great character.
Yeah.
He does a lot of, like him and Greed, because they're like Greed is embodying Ling. You know, you just get so much character growth in both of them, and I think that that's fantastic.
Yeah. We mentioned like greed and envy, so like the 7 deadly sins definitely plays like a big part in like the series, and I think it's really cool how envy particularly like rebels against their father figure, who they're not supposed to be able to do. So I think it's cool to show that like not all faults have to be faults, and you can like change your like what you perceive to be negative to be a positive. Like,
was it envy that betrayed, or was it?
It was greed.
I think it was greed. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, I might have misspoke.
You're good.
Yeah.
I was just curious because I was like, I'm pretty sure it was greed.
And it's like funny how both instances of greed betrayed the father figure. Yeah.
I don't know what else to do. I have like 20 seconds left.
You're good.
Oh, that's pretty good, actually.
I'll draw the rocks.
Yeah.
I like how I'm one of the least artistic here, and I get stuck with the last whatever's left. I get
you
to
just
try.
need a little bit of detail work.
My time is up.
You know,
I take art, but I've never taken a class on drawing anime, so
it's a little bit hard to see.
Yeah, it's a little hard to see.
It's coming together.
We should have used the Sharpie. Yeah. It's really.
God.
Now you can use the Sharpie.
Yeah,
Just grab
I can
the
use
blue
the
one.
Sharpie.
Yeah, you want to go for
Yo.
it. The one Sharpie we
Metal
have.
is always portrayed as being blue.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna like
Blue
go off a
steel.
little bit. Let's start. All right. Let's go.
So the 7 deadly sins are all very good characters. I heard you guys talking about
that.
That's actually a question I have prepared for later, but let's talk a little bit about them right now. Do you have like a favorite one of them? I know I'm asking a lot of favorites questions, but you want to go?
Well, I don't know, actually. I mean, King Bradley's a homunculi.
You're right.
But
that is your favorite character.
Yeah, I was like, So.
Like I mentioned during the break, I love Greed, and I especially love when he's like fused with Ling.
Yeah.
That's he's another one of my favorite characters, like right up there with Roy Mustang.
Oh yeah.
But like
Envy's another one I love.
Envy is such a good character. I don't know. I just love that he turns into like a little green monster. That's his true form.
It was funny too to see how he like acted like he was some huge like monster at one point, and then like he slowly turns into something little.
Like he pretends to be this big thing because
He's
that's
like
how he wants to portray
insecure.
himself.
He's a little insecure.
And you have 30 seconds left.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't like other people being happy either. He like kind of is always whiny and trying to like.
Yeah, because he's envious. Of
Yeah,
everyone
exactly.
Else. He just doesn't want
his
that to show
name
too
really
much.
portrays him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a particular.
All right, and that is your time. Sorry.
You're good.
You.
Well, I've done most of.
All right, and why don't you go ahead and show it directly to the camera?
All right. You can see Al pretty well.
You just see Al and nothing else.
Silhouette of Alphonse. All right, we'll hand it over to Geneva, and you just finish out any little details.
Like, detail work, like anything you want.
We really did give you the easy part now, didn't we?
I mean, we also have red and black.
You want to add some colors in there?
Yeah.
We're gonna go. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, mine's terrible. Don't worry.
I mean, I think all the 7 deadly sins are great, though.
There's like the idea is so interesting to have the 7 deadly sins personified as like as people, and that's how they portray their character arcs, sort of. Like
I also like Pride a lot. Pride was really interesting as well.
Pride is such a fun character.
Yeah. I thought his ability was really scary, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, just like having eyes appear everywhere. Yeah.
I love how innocent he seems too. Like all the homunculi, some of them do it really well. Like you see him, he's this little boy. You think, oh, he's not going to harm anything, and then,
like he's not capable. Of harming
and then
anyone.
later in the show, he's like the most evil out of them all. Like he devours. What's his name? He literally eats.
I think I know.
Kimberly.
Yeah, he
Is
does.
it Kimberly? Yeah.
He
I
does.
think so. Yeah.
And Gluttony.
Gluttony. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
and you
the
have
one I was
about like
looking
20
for.
seconds left.
See, I'm at the point where I'm just gonna write.
Fullmetal Alchemist.
You know what?
He's like one of the most evil homunculi. Actually.
Yeah. He's like the oldest one too, isn't he? Which makes it which makes his portrayal of a little boy even more
like shocking.
Yeah. All right, and I think you
done?
are about out of time. That is it. Put your pen down.
I just wanted to finish writing the title.
You just kept going. I said, you're out of time.
You're good.
All right, show it to your camera.
All right.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's a little bit hard to see.
It's hard to see the...
Yeah.
It's hard to see the lighter pen.
We did our best.
But we promise that it's very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just really get that up there. I'll hold it above the...
Yeah.
For only 6 minutes, it's not bad.
Yeah, for 6 minutes, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, if we up the contrast, you'd definitely see. Oh, it'll work a bit better. Anyways.
All right.
That was fun.
So that was an awesome masterpiece that we created, but we're going to be taking a quick break. We will be back in a bit, so stay tuned.
I got a crick in my neck, limp in my step, cramping in my muscles every time I try to flex. All I was scared but if you're throwing love off the wheel some more.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get into the final segment of the show and talk a little bit more about Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. So, what draws you into the show? Like, what's something that really, like, solidified it as being a show you wanted to watch when you were first watching it?
Well, besides the awesome recommendations I've gotten, and then also the fact that the characters, I don't know, the beginning was kind of slow, but they really built the characters nicely, and it kept me interested in it. It's mainly the reason I was able to actually keep watching it, because many anime I have to like force myself to go through sometimes until you get to something, I don't know, you actually feel excited to watch, whereas this one took very little time at all, and yeah, it was pretty good.
So that goes back to the idea of like character being very important in anime to you. Yeah. That's the theme of everyone I've spoken to on the show. Character is very important.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I watched it with my family, and so having the character development there was fantastic. And I think what originally drew us all to watching that was the alchemy. Like, in general, just alchemy itself was, I don't know, intriguing to us because we wanted to see where they were going to go with it.
All right, so that kind of leads me into another question. So the magical system in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is like pretty different than anything else in other forms of media that I've seen. Do you think like how does the show make it work? Like it's such a contained magical thing, and yet they use it for big fights, and they can draw upon their power so fast.
I mean, the idea of equivalent exchange in and of itself within that universe is what I think makes it so unique. And so, at least for me, that's one of the cool things about how they portray magic and like using it in battles and stuff. Like, they have to remember there's equivalent exchange.
Yeah.
So you can do this great thing, but it's going to cost you. So.
I love how like the costs are not actually physical sometimes. Sometimes they're like, oh, you lose like a part of your soul, or like you lose, like to be able to cast without drawing a circle, you have to like see the void or something like that. And then that costs you a lot. That like costs you a part of your body, and it like can't heal back, because you can heal using alchemy as well. And so I think it was really cool how also like when he was trying to bring back his mother from the dead, that you couldn't bring back a human because the human soul is untangible. It brings this idea that humans, as like a life form, each person is invaluable, and like you can't exchange things to bring humans back because that's not an equivalent exchange. So yeah,
right. I really like that the humans are invaluable. Like the human soul is invaluable.
Exactly.
That's like pretty much what the whole show is about, right?
Yeah.
Like they go through all like each person. Well, not each person, but like the main characters, their teacher. They all went through this. Traumatic experience trying to bring back a loved one, and it took away more than it gave back.
Right.
In all honesty.
I mean, it was an equivalent exchange.
It was an equivalent exchange. They did get the power to like use alchemy without a circle.
And they also brought something to life. It just wasn't what they wanted.
It just wasn't what they wanted, and it died within like 2 seconds.
I mean, like in computer science, is a lot of this thing is the same thing, because like when you're creating a program, sometimes it doesn't do what you want, but you still created a program. So like, it's doing what you told it to do, and that's like how I see alchemy working.
You're an alchemist, aren't you?
It does what you want it to do, but like but you don't know what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
that's a lot of what it is. I feel like
it reminds me of like a genie. Like you can like make a wish, but it'll never be exactly what you want it to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me see here. So sort of going back to character, I want to ask you in particular, because you watched the 2003 version of Fullmetal Alchemist. How do you think the characters differ from the 2003 anime to Brotherhood?
Oh. Well, I'm drawing a blank. I'm so sorry.
No worries. Because I was thinking, like, at some point, they're not even the same characters anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
the homunculi were really changed from
what I heard.
The
homunculi were extremely changed.
Different names were confusing to figure out who was who.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't watched it, but I've heard a lot of people talk about that.
Yeah.
A lot of the characters are very drastically changed.
Yeah. Especially in... Sorry.
You're good.
Especially in the idea of, like, the identities of the homunculi. When you really think... in Brotherhood, they're these personifications of the 7 deadly sins made out of this one main father guy. But in the 2003 anime, the homunculi are the people who were tried to bring back through human transmutation.
Yeah. So like Sloth, if I remember correctly, is the Elric brothers' mother. And then you've also got their teacher, whose name I can never remember. Izumi. Her child wasn't that one Envy? No,
that was, I think, Wrath, maybe.
Wrath. It might have been, but then like they created the...
All right, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but it is time to say goodbye. I want to say thank you to everyone who is here today, to our guests, Jack, Geneva, and Arnav, and as well as to everyone in the booth. We've had a great term, and we're going to be taking a break until the start of next term, but we will be back. After all, this is a tournament arc. Good night, everybody.